I'm wanting to speak about our experience of feeling aimless. And again, I want to share three things. So firstly, where in life do we feel aimless? What does it feel like? Well, I think in light of the recent COVID-19 pandemic, there are a range of ways that probably all of us have felt some degree of restlessness. You see, we often feel restless when our rhythms and routines and patterns for life are upset, and it leaves us just at a bit of a loss for what to do with ourselves. So for many of us, we felt quite a bit of restriction socially about where we can be. A lot of our patterns and rhythms for daily work and family, home life have been thrown up in the air and been unsettled. And perhaps you find yourself going to your desk to work and maybe you've got plenty to get on with, but focus is hard and it just doesn't feel the same. You get up and go for a wander and you've just lost this clarity about who you are and what you're doing. You're feeling a bit aimless. We can also feel aimless when we come to a fork in the road and we've got big decisions to make. And we can feel a bit frozen, a bit paralysed, a bit unsure which way to go. And part of the problem is that we don't have a guiding bigger picture that's clarifying who we are and what our purpose is. We're lacking a particular direction that would shape which way we go when we face that kind of decision. Well, the second thing I want to share is that God has custom built you. In the Bible, God says about those of us who trust in him, those of us who've come to believe in Jesus, that we're his workmanship, that we've been crafted by God to live for him and to play our part in his greater story. He's written us in as characters into his story with a really meaningful role to play. And that means that no experience that you've had is kind of random or irrelevant, and no skill that you have is kind of by surprise. Each of these things about who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you've been through have been shaped under God's deliberate hand. And he has you right where he wants you, right at this moment. Well, the third thing I want to share is that you ask the question, how has God custom built you? And I guess this is really the question of discerning your calling in life. That's working out how is it that God has particularly wired you? What are those things that you're naturally drawn to that you really enjoy? The things that you consistently seem to have an eye for around you, the things you notice, the opportunities that you see. Is there a key way of working out what your calling is? Now, some of those things you'll know yourself, but it's really helpful to involve others in this process to get their feedback and input because they'll see you a little bit more objectively. They'll be able to just add some more clarity and definition both to what your calling is and also those particular opportunities that exist right around you where you are right now that you could be taking up and using who God's made you to be, playing your part in his plan. If you found this helpful, you might like to check out the more complete resource that I've developed online with some questions that will help you walk through this process and come to a clearer sense of purpose and direction in your life.